Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to What You Want, and thanks for logging on. Today we are looking at the Hublot Big Bang Unico Bi-Retrograde FIFA 2014 limited edition of 200 pieces. You can see this unique football chronograph on our website, whatyouwant.com. Purchase it there, and if you enjoy these videos, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, What You Want Inc. Now you can see on my wrist 6 1/3 inches, 16 centimeters in circumference. This is a huge watch for a huge event. 58 millimeters from extremity of lug to extremity of lug. It's also 16.5 millimeters thick, and across what could be considered the round of the case, it's 45 millimeters, but that's before you include the flares of the wings at 9 o'clock and the pushers and crown at 3 o'clock. The bottom line is that this watch is huge. It looks as though it's heavy enough to carry the weight of expectations for all member nations, but that's where the ergonomic equation changes, and the huge watch actually shrinks. Now, it's wonderfully light, and this is due in part to the exotic materials that Hublot uses. A combination of titanium for the inner case and the clasp, carbon fiber for the bezel, composite inserts along the flanks between the sandwiched ceramic components that make up the top and the bottom of the outer shell. The watch wears very easy on the wrist, hardly overbearing. It's quite wieldy, and you'll note, for once, I am truly wearing the watch on my wrist, not simply holding it in place. It buckles, it fits, it stands, it's secure. This is an easy, gigantic watch to wear on a smaller wrist. If you're looking for the big watch that wears half its size, look no farther. I also want to call attention to the fact that Hublot is the master of making the big watch wear small. You can see that it's roughly a cushion case, so really not that much taller than it is wide. The watch also features generously downturned lugs, such that before the case actually ends, it's already bending around the curvature of the wrist, and while the strap is mighty in its taper as it approaches the lugs, it does pare down rapidly as it flows around the wrist, such that it's almost incredibly thin on the bottom. So where your wrist is at its softest, so is this strap. It's a perfect match. Hublot uses a high-quality PVD titanium deployant, twin trigger actuated for security. It also features inlaid carbon fiber with an Hublot marquee. Now, the dial of this watch, framed by a unique carbon fiber bezel, is a real standout. I do want to emphasize that inboard of the case flanks, you have a combination of ceramic for the principal external case elements, carbon fiber, which is beautifully layered, and you can actually see the built-up profile of the carbon fiber sheets on the side. It's almost like looking at the rings of a tree. And the bottom line is that even the Hublot titanium H-pattern bezel bolts are a little bit different here, being satin finished at their center and actually polished around their circumference. It's a unique look for a unique watch, and Hublot went all out here. The dial itself reads on two different levels, quite literally. There's the bottom, which is dedicated to hours and minutes. There is a constant seconds indicator at 3 o'clock, and then there's a unique football half plus overtime Bi-Retrograde chronograph display. Now, as you cycle it, it actually keeps track of both minutes and seconds, with one hand representing seconds, and you can see it ticking away, and the other representing a sort of radial minutes display. Now, when the seconds hand reaches the end, it retrograde jumps back to the beginning, and there's a small counter at center, just below the index at 12, that keeps track of what portion of play you are in. Now, the watch does feature flyback capability if you want to stay within a certain segment of play. So you don't advance the segment of play, but you do reset the time. Now, you can stop the chronograph and reset it conventionally while advancing the period of play. Now, the watch does feature immense detail on this dial. You can see calibrations in Brazilian national colors, and granted, World Cup 2014 didn't go great for the home nation. On the other hand, if you're a German fan and looking for a memento of a good time, have I got a chronograph for you. All elements of the dial are beautifully textured with great depth, as the chapter ring itself is segmented and sloped, plunging down from the bezel to the dial center. There's wonderful light skeletonization about the period counter at 12 o'clock, and then, of course, on the case back, yet another FIFA 2014 dedication and a view of the abundantly skeletonized caliber. The caliber, in this case, HUB 1260 features 385 parts. It features 44 jewels. It features a 3-day power reserve. It is entirely in-house. A flyback chronograph, a football timer. It's a remarkably complicated piece that spares no expenses in innovation. You have ceramic rotor bearings operating with high efficiency, completely unlubricated. You have silicon escape wheel and silicon pallet acting on each other for long-wearing durability. You have a 3-day power reserve despite a 28,800 vibration per hour modern beat rate. This is an excellent movement that finally takes Hublot to within the august ranks of true manufacturers, and sized entirely to fit an Hublot-sized watch. It's a remarkable effort from a company that has become a true watchmaker, and yes, a manufacturer watchmaker in every respect. But Hublot is all about the surprise and delight. Exclusivity, materials innovation, even mechanical refinement. You might expect that. But what Hublot's added on the most recent variants of King Power and Big Bang Unico is this easy release, quick change strap system. So if you do want to swap to a textile, if you do want to swap to a different strap, if you do want to change the look of the watch using Hublot's many accessory straps available, you can do so with a push of the button on both sides. You can see this unique 1 of 200 piece Hublot Big Bang Unico Bi-Retrograde FIFA 2014 limited edition and buy it on our website watchyouwant.com.